Hola Scouts, ¿cómo están? Yo soy Roy y el día de hoy les doy la bienvenida. Les pido por favor que se suscriban a nuestro canal. Hoy tenemos un invitado muy especial con nosotros, el Lord David Baden-Powell, quien es el bisnieto de nuestro fundador Robert Baden-Powell. Les pido por favor que prendan los subtítulos y los pongan en español. Muchas gracias y siempre listos para servir. Hi everyone, my name is Roy. Welcome to the channel, and today we have a very special guest, David Baden-Powell, who is Lord of Jewel. Hi, David. And how are you, David?
I'm great. Thank you very much. It's a beautiful sunny day here in Melbourne. It's 11:30 in the morning and the sun is out and we're very happy.
Nice. So I wanted to invite you because we want to know a couple of questions, and I will start making them if you agree.
Oh, that'll be fine. That's what I'm here for.
Okay, so first of all, tell us what happened with the Baden-Powell family after our founder died. How did you become Lord Baden-Powell?
Well, it's a bit of a long story, but not too long. When my great-grandfather died, my grandfather, Peter, became Lord Baden-Powell. He was the second Baron of Gilwell. And when he died, my uncle Robert became Lord Baden-Powell. He was the third Baron of Gilwell. And he died in 2019. And then my dad became Lord Baden-Powell, the fourth Baron of Gilwell. And he passed away last year, 2023. And so I've been Lord Baden-Powell, the fifth Baron of Gilwell, since then.
So that's kind of nice, and for us it's kind of like a little odd because we're not used to to this kind of degrees that you can call them night degrees or something like that.
Yep.
But that's okay. We're learning about that. So how has carrying the name and legacy of Robert Baden-Powell influenced your life?
Well, it's been pretty crazy. It's kind of chewed up my life. I think about Scouts 100% of the time. When I'm not working, I'm doing Scout stuff. At night, I'm doing video greetings for hall openings, troop anniversary, conference calls, and then writing letters of congratulations to Eagle Scouts and other peak awards around the world. I'm going to events like investitures, Scout camps, Scout events, and of course, international jamborees, which is where I really enjoy it. I've been to about 5 international events in the last year since my dad passed. So my life was never like this before I became Lord Baden-Powell, but I think it's actually a great thing. I could complain about it consuming my life, but no, I am incredibly honoured to be in the position that I am. I am incredibly lucky that I can influence and inspire people.
So scouting is literally in your DNA.
Yeah, pretty much. I've seen a lot of people online saying that scouting's in their DNA, but you kind of say to them, hang on a tick, mate. Guess what? Mine really is.
Yeah, I mean, we all agree that you could say that.
Yeah.
So, what does the scout movement mean to you in our increasingly digital world?
Well, scouting is, as it's always been, it's fundamentally about all the traditional skills that we possess and we aspire to. But in a digital world, it adds a whole new aspect. People from different countries can more easily communicate. Research can be more easily done. Yesterday, for example, I published a page about the founder of Scouts in, oh no, I can't remember. Yep, never mind. It was about the leader, and it was instantly distributed around the world. And I find that incredible about scouting. And then, of course, we have Jody, or Jody, an example of scouting embracing the internet and allowing a big event where scouts around the world can communicate. Events can be more efficiently organised across borders or countries or state. And badge work and achievements can be more easily recorded. A couple of weeks ago, I did my WHS training. That's workplace health and safety and child safe training. We have to do it every 2 years. and I did it all online. You know, our Scout software manages expiry, coursework, certification, renewals, pretty much everything. And so we're always doing coursework. We are always improving ourselves, and that's pretty much due to the digital world that we live in. It's made it a lot more efficient.
Great. I noticed that you opened up by the way, a Facebook group. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
So I've started a Facebook group called Baden-Powell Scouting, and I saw lots of other groups were overrun with spam, like World Scout,
Correct. Yeah.
or they were England specific, like First Facebook Scout Group, or they were American specific, like most of the BSA volunteers type sites. And so there was no real global Facebook group that I could find. So I thought, I'll start one up. And then I got a guy to be an admin. That guy won't leave me alone.
Yeah.
No, that's you, Roy. That's you, Roy. Do a good job.
I
But
was going to say he's a penny in the you know where.
yeah. But
So
yeah, that allows me, speaking on the digital world and the Facebook group, it allows me to write pieces that recognize founders in scouting that may not get recognized otherwise. So I just remember the last one I did, it was the Philippines. And one before that was Sri Lanka. And I learned about these people through going to those countries and seeing them in museums and seeing them on the walls of on headquarters in those countries. And it made me realize that I would not have known that otherwise, that these guys started up scouting in these nations. So my mission is to make everyone realize it's not just Lord BP that keeps scouting into what we know now. It were these people, these trailblazers that got inspired by Lord Baden-Powell to start up scouting in their countries. And so if they jump on my group, they'll see all about it.
That's nice. I mean, this is a real nice contribution. Let's go to the next question. What do you think your great grandfather vision of scouting will be today?
He would be amazed. He would be absolutely stunned that his original trial was 21 scouts on Brownsea Island, and that's where it started from. And right now, we have 57 million members across 176 countries.
Wow.
And he would be amazed. And I mean, even I can't comprehend those numbers. I don't know how he would see the organisation at large. I like to think that he would have recognised change and evolution in the movement, and that he moved with the movement. I like to think he would have rewritten Scouting for Boys every few years to keep it relevant. I think that would be the biggest challenge for him if he was dropped straight into what we have now. But I think he would be incredibly proud and staggered that this had come from his initial ideas.
That's great. I mean, because whenever he died, he didn't actually realize how big this was going to be, right? He just
I believe so.
saw a little glance of what was going to come in the future. So that's great. So is there any personal story you like to share about your connection to scouting history?
It's probably not related to scouting history, but my most memorable scouting moment is Korea. Last year in Korea for the World Jamboree, that was something that exposed me to how big scouting was. I mean, it's the biggest ever scouting event, and being a part of that was something to basically connect you with the movement, realize what's out there and how big it is. Because I went from being a troop leader at my local scout troop, 4th Brunswick, to being thrown into this scaldingly hot, massive site of, was it 54,000 people, 45,000 participants, and 9,000 ISTs, and that was amazing. The site was 8.5 kilometres across. It was 4 kilometres wide. Every time we woke up in the morning to go to our roles, we had to walk 4.5 kilometres, and we saw, we saw thousands of people. And I went there as anonymous Dave because my dad had only died a couple of weeks before, so I just went as Dave, and
so they didn't know who you were?
Yes, they didn't know who I was.
Oh, and what happened when they realized? They were like, oh my God.
Yeah. People got very excited, and I tried my best to be, trying to think the right word, to try to be responsive, try to be active, but I was still grieving at that stage. So it was very hard.
It was very recent.
Yeah, and everybody knew my dad, so everybody wanted to talk about my dad, and I just wanted some quiet time.
I had the opportunity of meeting him as well at the American Jamboree here in the U.S.
Yeah, he was a good bloke. Everybody liked him, and so that made it awkward. But at the same time, it meant I could just do what I was there to do, which is cook sausages. So
okay.
I was in the food tent, and it meant that I could kind of hide and do make hamburgers, make sausages, cook pies, which is a lot of fun. And every now and then, a group of 30, 40, 50 people would gather at the front door of the food tent, and everybody would say to me, Dave, I think they're there for you. And I would go, yes, and go out and take photos, say hi, shake hands. And it was really nice because it managed what I had to do, and allowed me to switch in and out of Lord Baden-Powell mode, which was great. It was really important given the time frame and the recency of my father's passing.
Yeah, I believe it's like kind of hard for you to be Lord Baden-Powell sometimes, right? Because you have to be present in a lot of different events, but sometimes you only need quiet time and to rest, because people tend to forget that you're still human and you get tired and all those kind of things.
Yeah, sort of. I mean, it was just Korea that I was in that frame of mind. Every jamboree since, it's been Lord Baden-Powell 100% of the time. When I went to Korea, I arrived, got off the plane. Oh, not Korea, sorry. Philippines, my first jamboree after Korea. And it's my first jamboree as Lord Baden-Powell. And so I got off the plane around 3 or 4 in the morning, greeted some people, flew on another flight, had a travel across the island, Panay Island, which took a few hours, and then wound up at the Jamboree site, and instantly I was talking to people, giving speeches and all that sort of stuff, which was interesting. And so that was a kind of a baptism
I saw
by
some
fire.
of the pictures. I saw some of the pictures that you have in your profile where there is thousands of scouts on the back. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Well, that was the opening ceremony. That's where I thought, hang on, something's going on here, because I stood up in front of 34,000 people and talked to all of them, and it was the opening ceremony. So the president of the Philippines, Ferdinand Marcos Jr., was there, and his security detail were there. So there were lots of people with guns, which for an Australian was very intimidating because we don't have guns in Australia. But it was just like completely different. And in that jamboree, I think I did 5 or 6 different speeches, which is great. I really enjoy giving speeches when I have context and I know what I'm going to say before. Surprise speeches are always a little bit interesting, but you adjust and you basically slip into the role of being the guy that's there to talk, inspire, welcome all the different things you need to do.
That's so cool. I mean, and also you need to have a little time to prepare, right? It's always better like that.
Oh, usually, yeah. Although in the Philippines, they had a ceremony to thank all the police and other officials, police, SWAT, security services, firemen, a whole lot of them. There would have been about 1,500 people there. And I was sitting up on stage, and there were 6 other people, and then I was in a group of 3. One person got up to give a speech, then another one got up to give a speech, and I thought, hang on, I'm next in line here. And then I got a tap on the shoulder saying, you're on in 1 minute.
You're next. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I got up there and I did a speech, and it was a really good speech considering. And I got down off that speech and I was really proud. And I watched it back later and I just realized I nailed it. And that has helped give me confidence. It's things like that where you're pushed into you're pushed away from your comfort zone, that you take a further step into the ritual of giving speeches.
Yeah, because you don't have like a lot of time like your dad, because he had been Baden Powell for a lot of time. He was already used to that, and you recently became Lord Baden-Powell. That's why you're developing this, right?
It's my dad never really got to be Lord Baden-Powell properly, because he became Lord Baden-Powell at the end of 2019 when his brother died. Then COVID hit in February 2020, and in Melbourne we had massive lockdowns. We weren't allowed out of our homes before 9 a.m. and after 8 p.m. We were locked in our houses, really. And that went on and off. And my dad got COVID, and it was like long COVID where you're sick for a while. And then he had some surgery on some cancer. And then it was December 2022, and he tested positive and couldn't come to Christmas with us. And
that's sad.
He never recovered from that, and he died in July after that. So it was a bit sad. And so the sad thing for him was that he waited so long to become Lord Baden-Powell, and when he became the Lord, he, like I said, he never had a chance to experience it and do what the role entails. But before then, he did as much as he could. He lived a full life, and he went everywhere to everything, and that's what I respect. He couldn't do as much as he wanted to until he retired, but once he retired, he was everywhere. He was on Agunaries every second year. He was at all the World Jamborees. He was at all the big Australian events. He did everything he could. But just like I said, as Lord Baden-Powell, he was sick for the whole 3 years, which is very, very sad.
Yeah, it is. But I had the opportunity of listening to one of his speeches at the Jamboree, and I was like amazed, and you feel that peaceful, feeling that you're with someone who's important and who knows what happened. And most of scouts all around the world do not have that feeling, because we will never ever meet someone from the BP family. I mean, because there are so many that it's practically impossible.
Baden-Powells? Oh, there aren't too many of us.
No,
They would,
just not that many.
Yeah, no, there's not that many. Like in our immediate family, there is my auntie, who was Auntie Wendy, who was my dad's sister. Yeah, dad's sister. Nearly got that wrong. Then there's my mum, Lady Baden-Powell, and she remains Lady Baden-Powell even though my dad has passed. And then there's my wife, who is Lady Baden-Powell, and me, who is Lord Baden-Powell, and then my 2 children, Charlie and Max, each of which is the Honourable Charlie Baden-Powell and the Honourable Max Baden-Powell. So
Congratulations to Charlie. By the way, I heard she turned 18 years last weekend.
yes, she did. Yes, she did. It's been a big year for her. She received her Queen Scout or King Scout, depending on when,
I saw the pictures.
in August, which is a great honour in Australia. It's the peak award that we have in Australian Scouting, and it's arguably one of the most difficult peak awards in the world to get because there is a time limit on it. It's done within a 3-year period of venturers, and what makes it really tricky is year 12 is our final year of school, where our exams dictate what university we go to, and that is 1 year out of that 3 years. So you really only have 2 years and then a lot of juggling. So we're really proud that she was able to manage her time that effectively.
Nice. I mean, she learned something from her father, right? So talking about Charlie, what's your opinion on the role of women in scouting today?
I think it is so incredibly important. It's almost so important I don't know quite what to say about it. It's critical to the movement. I mean, males and females interact outside of scouting, and this should flow through in their scouting world. I don't think scouts should be uniquely male. I don't think guides, I'm not sure about that one. But I've been online a lot in groups that aren't like my group. They're more traditionalists, and I'm really disappointed hearing traditionalists bemoaning females being allowed into the organisation. I've heard people say, "Oh, it's the downfall of the organisation because women are in there or girls are in there now." But yeah, I'm very opposed to that mindset. I think scouting is male and female. A female should enjoy what males enjoy. I mean, my daughter Charlie started off as a guide, and she realised that scouts was a lot more fun because they had a lot more.
Don't tell that. Don't tell that.
I mean, she saw scouting and realised that they did the things that she wanted to do. Pioneering, abseiling, orienteering, so many of those types of activities that she didn't really see exposure to in guiding, and that's why she moved across. And that happens to a lot of guides. All of her friends in guides, there are about 4 of her closest friends, all moved across to the same scout group, North Brunswick. And I think that's testament to the strength of scouting, is that we are also attracting females from outside the organisation. It's become a major draw card, and people realise that it's an equitable environment. There's no, I just think it's a great thing in a nutshell. I was really happy when scouts opened up to girls as well. I wish they were there when I was a scout because they bring a different aspect, but also they fit in with what's going on. I haven't explained that very well, but hopefully you know what I mean.
Yeah, sure. It's kind of like an evolution of scouting. I say it that way because, for example, BSA, Boy Scouts of America, already is having girls into it, and that's pretty nice. I remember that we used to do some international camping with the Scouts of Buffalo Trail in Texas, and whenever this happened to them, and they were seeking counsel with us because we have had Girl Scouts or female Scouts joining in our National Scout organization, which is Mexico, for a lot of years. And they were asking, oh, how is this working? And I just told them, you know what? I'm going to tell you the truth. Treat them like males, and they will be even better than that. I mean, they will fit the kids, they will be better guys. They will always want to continue further, etc. So I don't know if that happens on your side of the planet.
Oh, definitely. All the activities are for males and females, like traditional male activities, like British Bulldog is a game we call it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody plays it, and the girls, win it through agility and mainly agility and intelligence, if I can say that. They see
Yeah, you can.
pathways through, and once they see their
Agree.
pathway, they will use their agility to basically get through to the other end of the course. Whereas the men, boys, males, just try to smash their way through the middle, and that will come unstuck because the boys will always aim for other boys.
Correct.
And so
Oh,
quite often, it's the girls that win. Just seeing if there's somewhere quieter. It's kind of getting nervous here. No,
oh,
loud. Can you hear background noise here?
no, no, not at all.
Okay,
Perfect.
that's good. Cool.
So, talking about another subject, what do you think are the biggest challenges facing the Scout movement today?
Um, this is a quick answer. Scout, sport, and video games. People find it really easy to get distracted by video games.
Mm-hmm.
My son loves video games and he plays them a lot. But at the same time, we're pretty strict with him to make sure it's very limited. Video games, I think kids spending time playing video games, they lose fitness, they lose outdoor aspects, they lose being in touch with nature, and I think that's where it comes down to parents and why we need parents to be involved in the movement, not just as leader helpers or adult helpers or scout leaders, but also at finding a way to inspire their kids to be passionate about activities in scouts. And then, of course, sport. Sport attracts a lot of kids. I mean, kids at school will be playing sport. I mean, at my daughter's school, I can't remember what sports they play, but I remember when I was at school, we played tennis, played field hockey, we played Australian rules football. I did rowing as well. And it's just, they throw all these sports to see what sticks. And so you get involved in this at school, and if you become really good at it, you wind up going down a pathway of sports, which in turn kind of negates your ability to participate in scouting. So they are a part of life, and they can work with scouting. One of my daughter's friends wound up becoming a what do you call it? A goalie for the Victorian national side. Sorry, not Victorian national side, just the Victorian side. And she was just so gifted that took her away from other things. But that's probably about it. Yep, sport and video games.
Thanks for clarifying that. So, what is your personal motto, and how does it reflect Scout values?
It's a tricky one.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah. I mean, as I was growing up, do your best always stuck with me. Whatever you're doing, just try to do your best. It's absolutely critical to remember. I remember when I'm doing scouting, when I'm at work, when I'm with my family, when I'm renovating my house. Pretty much every time I do something, I try to keep that in the back of my mind. And I think doing your best is the most important thing that a scout can adhere to. But I tell you what, the other one that's big in my world is called empathy. I think that all the time. Empathy is absolutely critical to a good scout. And there's quite a few, which I don't think there are any organisations around the world that specifically state empathy as part of their scout laws. I'm not saying I want to change it, or I can change it, or I should change it, or anything like that, but I just think empathy is something to always consider anytime you do anything for anyone.
Yeah, I really wish all scouts could have empathy in mind whenever they behave. Because I had some experiences before with some of them, which do not behave as scouts. They dress as scouts, but they do not behave like those. No, and they are like losing this empathy value that you're mentioning. It is one of the core values of scouting all around the world.
Yep. Yep.
And
Even not.
Respect as well.
Yep. Well, even not as scouts, just as human beings.
Yeah.
Empathy is critical for everybody. I mean, you can look at a nation and you can look top down from their leader down through pretty much everything. And sorry, they're just turning up music.
Don't worry. I cannot listen to it. So
yeah,
just continue. Don't worry.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So let's jump to the next question. How important do you think environmental commitment is to modern scouting?
It's massive. I mean, it's just not across scouting; it's across the world. It's critical to a consistently evolving movement like scouting. Creating awareness of environmental issues is something that, it's not just good for scouting; it's good for the world. And there's a lot of cool stuff that scouts can proactively address. I mean, we have 57 million members. That's 57 million members can get out there and do stuff. And that's 57 million people that are non-scouting people. Said that wrong. But that's the thing. I think on the WASM website, they list that scouts have done, I think, like 2.6 billion hours of volunteering, which I find amazing. And if a big chunk of that can be used for, environmental issues, then we're doing the best we can.
Yes, that's great. Yeah, and also there are some efforts from the World Office when they are trying to use the messenger of peace badges or global badges. So they are trying to actively engage scouting into environmental commitment. So that's pretty great. Nice.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's something that scouts should be very proud of, and they should make aware of. The scouting environmental activities should be known worldwide, and we should be a beacon of what the world should aspire to. Yeah. I mean, that's one of the most important things we can do is people see scouts, they see our environmental activities, and they go from there.
So, what is your favorite memory from a scouting activity? Tell us.
I would have said Korea. That's doubling
Korea.
up. Yeah, no. My favorite
I imagine
memory,
that you've been in the movement since you were a Cub Scout, right? So you've been all the way.
Yeah. I had a bit of a break in the middle, but I had a bit of a break. But my favorite memory is the World Jamboree at Cataract Park in Australia in 1988. And I can't remember much of it, but I remember the rain and I remember the flooding. And Cataract Park was a big funnel, and all the water went rushing through our tents. And everybody I've ever met since has always said that they remember the rain. The rain is what everybody remembers. It's like Korea. You know, you remember the things that were challenges. And so in the same way, it's the 88 Jamboree was all about challenges. And because I was so young at the time, it was a growing experience. You know, the important thing was to learn that it doesn't. I'm trying to find the words to describe it. What you think is horrible at the time, you realize that you have to conquer it. You have to defeat it, or you just have to push through it.
And you will learn from it.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And that's the point that I managed to reach during that jamboree. And it was very effective, actually, for me as a scout and me as a human being, to learn that something's in your way, just keep on going.
Okay, so that's interesting. What are your thoughts on the inclusion of diverse cultures and ethnicities within the Scout movement?
Diversity. Like, diversity is king. Scouts is a global organization. So it means that you should be welcome to everyone, and everyone should be welcome to you. I love the ability of being able to go to World Jamborees to experience the global nature. I don't know if that really answered your question, but let's keep on moving because I didn't really explain it very well.
Don't worry. So, would you like to see any changes in the Scout program or in the Scout movement right now, and why?
Yeah, that's really hard to answer because scouting varies massively from organization to organization. So to start to say how, I'd like to see changes in scouting organizations that I don't have much experience with. I feel like my organization, which is Scouts Australia, has moved with the times and is embracing everything key and great to scouting, whilst at the same time keeping it contemporary.
Would you like create perhaps like a fellowship that might help other national scout organizations like to be in the same level? Because I have seen that NSOs are level are so different. At least here in the Inter-American region, we have like the U.S. and Canada, which they have like a lot of money and possibilities. But if you go from Mexico all the way to Argentina, the scouting movement is totally different. It is not based upon money; it is based upon experiences and stuff like that. And just to give you a little quick example, when we were to the jamboree some years ago, this necker has meaning. Everything in this necker has meaning. So I asked the U.S. Scouts what was the meaning of their necker, and they said, "Oh, I don't know." So I was like,
Yeah.
that's kind of weird because in here everything gets like a meaning, and that is not shared by all the national scout organizations. I mean, I'm not saying that this is like the general rule, but in that particular case, I mean, I still believe that we can do a lot of work to empower this and equalize national scout organizations all around the world, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I should do. Check it out.
Oh yeah.
When you're talking about meaning, this is the Australian scarf. So the gold and the green, whoops, I'm pointing the wrong way, I'm doing it in reverse, it represents the golden wattle, which is our Australian national flower. And this white bit here, I like to think it represents the Alps, the Australian Alps, and that represents the snow that falls in the Australian Alps, which is pretty cool. And then on the back of it, we have the kangaroo, which
Mm-hmm.
is half of the Australian national arms, and then it says Australia, so we can find our way home. But I better put that back on, or I won't look very good. There we go.
Don't worry about that. So
So
yeah. Go ahead.
it's important to know what your scout, your oh god, I can't get it back up again. I'll just leave it like that. What your scarf means, or we call them scarves here, you call them neckers, and so that's what ours means. And then of course we have, a lot of other things. We have, that's my local district.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Marybeck Darabin. That's my unit that I'm part of, or troop, as they call. Um, in Australia, we always have the badge from our last big event, and so that's Korea for us.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Australian flag to represent that I'm part of Australian Scouting. Everybody knows that one.
I
This
do.
is an adult pin, or parent pin, they call it. It means you're the parent of a Queen Scout, and that's to
Oh,
respect that the amount of
what honor.
uh,
Yeah, that's
yeah, and it's to respect the amount of work that we go into. And then, hang on, I'll pop that up there. This is the Scouts Australia badge. We call it
mhm.
the squashed blood butterfly. There it is. Looks like a
Yeah, yeah.
splattered butterfly, but yeah, it's kind of cool. So that's everything that has meaning on my uniform, along with the scarf and this. Oh, and this is my unit scarf
So
for
you used
go
two?
on,
You wear
pardon?
two
No,
scarves?
this is national. We get one
Uh-huh.
of these
Oh,
when
oh,
we
okay.
attend an international event, and then this is what I wear every Tuesday night when I go to Venturers. So that's
Mm,
just your standard group level necker or scarf. Cool.
cool. Thanks for sharing. Do you have any advice for young people who want to join the Scout movement?
Yeah. Yep. And it's pretty simple. Just have fun, because everything else will follow from that. I mean, when kids at Cubs, I say to them, have fun. Everything else will follow. When kids are at Scouts, when kids are at Adventurers, it's always have fun. Everything else will follow, because fun is critical to scouting. If you don't have fun involved in scouting, then you don't have scouting, because there's no one there. So from that perspective, that's what we do. And all the activities are fun, abseiling, rock climbing, kayaking, cycling, they are fun activities. So that's what it's all about.
Great, great. So, what legacy would you like to leave in the Scouting movement and in your personal life?
Um, well, straight up, I will say I can never compete with my great grandfather. That's just, it's just is, it's a fact. But what I want to do is uh, make up for the time that we haven't been as present as possible in the scouting organisation. So my job is to be accessible, approachable, um, um, friendly,
Yay!
helpful, um, all these things that being a lord should be. We should be there for everybody. And my goal is, well, online is to contact as many people as possible and have everyone come away feeling great that they met Lord Baden-Powell or spoke to him. I mean, when I was in the Philippines Jamboree and Sri Lanka Jamboree and Taiwanese Jamboree, it was great. Just meeting so many people, signing scarves, signing badges, you name it. It was just amazing. And that's kind of the legacy I want to leave, is that people remember Lord Baden-Powell, they met him, all that sort of stuff. Um, I'm not a person who can go in and make change, but I can try to add things to the movement.
You never know, eh? You never know. I mean, you could. I mean, you never know. That's
Yeah, yeah,
I believe that your great grandfather thought that, but he then realized that he could do a huge change in the world, and look what happened.
yeah. Well, that's the thing. He didn't really know how much change it would mean. And so that's why I think just little things before progressing on to larger things. I've only been doing this for about a year. So it's all very new and I'm still trying to find my way around. So once I figure that out, then hopefully we'll go somewhere.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you will leave a great legacy. Don't worry much about that. I'm pretty sure. By knowing you,
Yeah.
I can tell. So,
Yeah.
last question: is there anything you would like to say to all the scouts around the world who see you as a historical and inspirational figure?
I'm not really sure, to be honest. Um, I don't think of myself as anything like that. I mean, I'm
You
not
have a huge
famous.
name. You have a
I know,
huge name.
but that's just a name. I'm not famous. It's my great grandfather who's the famous one. But that's where I come in, and I hope I can be inspirational by scouts by being there, talking face to face. Um, I mean, there's something called the ash ceremony, which I really want to bring back into scouting. At a large event, they'll have a fire, and then at the end of that event, when the fire is out, people will take ashes from the event, and
Yeah.
and in the next fire, they will scatter that in that fire, and they'll take ashes from that one and scatter in the next one. So what you wind up with is ashes that have the story of all these events before. So the ones I have Cuall in England, they have Brownsea, Cuall in Australia, Philippines, Taiwan, and Sri Lankan jamborees. All these events that I've been to. And so whenever I scatter those ashes, everybody that collects them winds up having a part of those ash and that ceremony on all the places they've been to. So I think that's my little thing that I can do now. And then hopefully I will do some more. Cool.
Bring some ashes in your next trip to Mexico, please.
Oh, I will. I mean, customs have never said no yet. So I'm hoping it'll work okay.
I'm pretty sure it will. Well, David, thanks a lot. We know you're a busy person. You have a couple of things that you need to do right now. Thanks a lot for this interview. Thanks a lot for being approachable and for being a great friend. I really admire you, and you're very friendly. Thanks a lot, sir. I
No
know that you
worries. Thank you
I
very
know that
much,
you don't
Roy.
like I know that you don't like me to call you sir, but that's out of a sign of respect.
Okay. I go by Dave. Everybody calls me Dave. So when you get to a jamboree, people say to me, what should I call you? What should I call you? And I say, Dave, because that's what I am to everybody. It's just Dave.
Okay,
So,
great.
yep, when I turn up in Mexico one day, just say, hey, Dave, or g'day, Dave, because we say g'day in Australia. So, g'day, mate. Yep.
Yeah, we will wait for you here. Thanks a lot, and have a great
Yep.
day.
No worries. Thank you very much. I'll see you later on. Bye.
Bye, Scouts.